growing up, I always believed that the only way to become financially free and to become successful is get into a really good college and then eventually finish your 4 years degree and then be able to get a good paying job. But if you've been paying attention on what's happening into our industry, our economy is one of the most fastest growing industry right now. And if you do the conventional path, you're gonna get conventional results. And I'm gonna tell you right now, the way I got my first 6 figures online at 21, it's not because I followed the traditional path everybody was walking to. In today's video, I want to share to you guys the best way right now to land your first high ticket closing position in 2024. So if you're new to this channel, my name is Elijah. I essentially document my journey on building a multi 7-figure company, and at the same time sharing you guys on how I was able to become financially free at 21 and how you can do the same through high ticket closing. So there's a couple of things that we need to lay the ground first so we're on the same page. So if you don't know what high ticket closing is, I highly suggest you to check out this video. And essentially, I break down fully on what high ticket closing is and if it's even for you. If you already know what high ticket closing is, this is honestly the best way to land your first high ticket closing position in 2024. So there's a couple of things that we need to actually ask yourself for you to get started. So first things first, you want to ask yourself, what industry do you want to close for and to become a high ticket closer for? Then secondly, you have to ask yourself, where do people who sells their services hang out? This is one of the most powerful questions you can ask. And typically it's not just a one size fit all answer that I can give you, right? Because I can't give you a solution and say this is a one pill that will solve all of your problems. It doesn't work that way. At the end of this video, I'm going to share to you guys the best way to land your high ticket closing position. But I want to give you guys 2 resources, the fastest way and the easiest way. So let's go to the easiest way first. This is typically for the people who don't have money to invest or have any capital to invest into a community or a mentorship program to fast track their growth. So the anchoring question that you have to ask yourself is, where do people who sells their service hang out? Typically, this will be in job posting, this will be in Facebook groups, or you want to reach out to them directly in their Instagram or in their social media platform or wherever they're advertising their product. Typically, the best way to do this is go through Instagram, look for keywords and niches that you want to work with. Typically, this would be for something that you're somewhat knowledgeable about or you have some experience on, to just have more understanding on what exactly they're selling. Because if you're selling something they don't believe in, it's going to be harder to sell. So that's the easiest way to do it, is do direct DMs, cold DMs. You want to just brute your way into it and send out a lot of volume. Secondly, what is the fastest way to do it, right? So the fastest way to do this is you want to look for a paid community or mentorship program to fast track your growth, because typically they have networks there, and essentially there's a couple of criteria you want to look for a good mentorship. So first things first, you have to ask yourself, have they done the thing that they're teaching? That's the number one thing you need to ask yourself. If they haven't done the thing that you want to learn, then you probably want to run the other way around and want to ask them first, like, what are their qualifications for teaching that thing? And secondly, do they have a good community right now? If they don't have a good community to support you on, or like-minded individuals, it's going to be very difficult for you to succeed in it as well. And lastly, do they actually get results? So these are a couple of things that you want to look for if you're joining a mentorship program or you want to fast track your position to get into a sales team, right? And typically you need to have experience to actually get into a sales team. And typically this is through sales agencies or through sales recruiters that's looking for top-notch high ticket closer who are already experienced. So if you already have sales experience, this is one of the best way you can do this, is going through a sales agency or looking for a sales recruiting company that will able to personally place you in a sales position in a high ticket space. So that is the fastest way you can do it, but typically this requires experience and requires that you're pretty good at sales already, and will probably require some investment on your end as well. And lastly, the last category, which is the best way to land your high ticket closing position, is through referrals. Not a lot of people talk about this, but the way I personally got some of the best positions I've had, or where I made the most money in a person I've done partnership with to do sales for them, is through referrals or word of mouth. And essentially this is one of the best way, because if you've done a good job for someone else, they will refer you over to someone, and typically that person is already an established business and you have already 100% guaranteed that that person knows what they're doing, and all you need to do is close deals for them. And I'll give you guys a quick bonus. One of the best ways as well to land your first high ticket closing position position is if you sign up to multiple email lists for companies, for people who has sales recruiting agencies, or people who has sales agencies. These are a couple options as well you can have, and just engaging into communities, right? Some type of subscription based model where you can join and talk to someone in the high ticket closing space to get referred with, right? So there's a couple of things that you can also take into consideration if you're trying to land your first high ticket closing position. Again, there's a lot of pros and cons for the 3 different things that we just discussed today on how to land your first high ticket closing position. Again, a couple of questions you need to ask yourself, right? Do you have capital to fast track your progress to get into high ticket closing position? Which is for you, the fastest way to do this is join a winning team already, right? Or right now, you don't have any capital, you don't have anything, then you need to rely on messages, on cold DMs, and straight up volume. And lastly, the best way is if you're already a good experienced closer, if you're already a good experienced sales rep trying to transition to high ticket closing, then the best way to go about it is joining a sales agency or a sales recruiting and asking them if they have anyone by any chance that they can get you referred to close for or eventually sell their products and services. So again, that's pretty much it. That is the best way for you to get into high ticket closing in 2024. And honestly, I guarantee you, if you follow these steps and if you check out one of these videos, I break it down more into depth on how you can get into the space faster in a step-by-step guide. Go check it out. I highly recommend it if you haven't yet. But again, that's pretty much it. That's how you can land your first high ticket closing position in 2024. Again, I appreciate you guys and time on watching this video. If you have any question, don't hesitate to reach out to me. I'll leave it in the comment section below and I'll try to respond as fast as I can. As always, I'll leave you guys with this: be a creator, not a consumer. Create something today that will inspire you and others. Peace out.